And we begin with breaking news tonight. Another plane crash, this one in Northeast Philadelphia. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Multiple people are dead in that crash. We've learned this small plane had just taken off from the airport.
Yeah, take a look at video from a doorbell camera that captured the plane as it crashed. There are also reportedly injuries on the ground. We don't know the total number of victims at this point. The plane came down just 30 seconds after it took off from the Northeast Philadelphia airport at about 6 this evening. Several homes in the area of Cotman Avenue and Roosevelt Boulevard caught on fire. There is no immediate word on the cause of this crash.
And it's only been 2 days since that deadly mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and an Army helicopter in Washington, D.C. Everyone's presumed dead, and tonight at least 41 bodies have been recovered. 28 have been identified. Search crews are out on boats tonight on the Potomac River, combing the wreckage site, looking for remains. We've also learned tonight the FAA is restricting helicopter traffic around Reagan National Airport.
Now tonight, the NTSB says barges are on their way to the site of the deadly plane crash over the Potomac River, and they're expected to be there all day tomorrow as well. We've been given an update on the black boxes. The helicopter black box has been recovered and is in good condition. The jet's 2 black boxes were found yesterday, and investigators say there was some water intrusion, but they expect to extract all of the critical information.
Regarding the CRJ's cockpit voice recorder, once it was recovered and opened, we found that it had water intrusion. That is not uncommon. I can report to you now, we have recovered the Sikorsky black box. It is safely at the NTSB headquarters.
Now, crews are working to retrieve the wreckage of the 2 aircraft from the river. The NTSB is expected to issue a preliminary report on the accident within 30 days.
And a man from Salem, Connecticut is one of those 67 victims who is presumed dead. We've been learning more about Casey Crafton's life today and how the community is helping his family. Fox 61's Kayla Cade has more from Salem Town Hall.
People in the community say Casey Crafton was a man of faith. He was loved in town, and there's an outpouring grief that you can see throughout social media and in town.
The nightmare for everybody. Like, your spouse gets in the car and doesn't come home.
That's the unfortunate reality for the Crafton Gap Boys family.
He goes on a work trip, a thing he's probably done dozens of times, maybe hundreds of times, I don't know, but often. And he doesn't come home.
Casey Crafton was on an American airline plane, traveling to his home in Salem from Wichita, Kansas. His flight had a layover in Washington, D.C. Moments before landing, a Black Hawk helicopter crashed into them. Both aircrafts went flying down into the Potomac River. There were 64 people on board, all of which state officials presume are dead.
This is a huge loss for the community, a huge loss for his family.
Pastor Jonathan Cakeley with the Congregational Church of Salem is a friend of the family.
He was just a great overall guy, somebody who he helped out with Apple Fest and stuff here at the church. He was a servant of the church.
Crafton was a father to 3 boys and a husband to Rachel.
I've been in contact with the family, and they're all devastated. He was loved, and Rachel is obviously crushed.
Cakeley says he was involved in his kids' lives and his community.
Playing with t-ball, baseball. He was also involved in soccer in Montville.
The Montville Youth Soccer Club posted on Facebook that Coach Casey, quote, helped to enrich the lives of all of those that he came in contact with. On Sunday, Cakeley says the church will stop their original plan and open their Bibles to John 11 and mourn his loss instead.
We're sort of actively transitioning around that to try to prepare to care for our community.
He says to keep the Crafton family in your prayers.
Rachel just was like, people were asking her what she needs, and, what she needs is her husband back, and that's not going to happen. But I would say this, know that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted. He will care for us in this kind of moments of grief.
There's a GoFundMe and meal train set up if you would like to donate to the Crafton Gad Boys family. You can find both of those fundraisers on our website, fox61.com. In Salem, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
Now, the flight number assigned to the plane that collided with the Army helicopter will be retired, according to American Airlines. So tonight's flight has been changed to Flight 5677. The flight number 5342 will not be used for any future American Airlines flights. This is common practice after a major aviation accident. And we are closely watching the latest developments coming out of D.C. You can catch all the breaking developments on Fox61.com, the free Fox 61 News app, and streaming anytime for free on Fox 61 Plus. All right, time now for a quick check on the weekend forecast.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joins us. So, Rachel, we got quite a lot of rain today. How's it looking tomorrow?
Well, things are looking way up. We'll see clearing skies. It will be breezy and trending cooler as the day progresses, but we're going to get this rain out of here, which is some good news if you have any weekend plans. We've got showers out there still, and even in some spots, a locally moderate downpour. And if we widen things out, you'll see this is the back edge, so we don't have too much more to get through, I would say, as we head towards and after about 1 o'clock in the morning. We'll bring in the last raindrops. Snow to the north stays to the north. There also is areas of patchy fog. You can see it's more dense right now in the New Haven area than it is over Hartford. We've got visibility down to about 1 1/4 of a mile right now for New Haven, 3/4 of a mile for Windham. Not too bad, but just something that you might notice out there tonight. Temperatures are above freezing across the state, so we're not expecting icing to be an issue, and we won't see temperatures drop back close to freezing until we head through the day tomorrow. So early clouds tomorrow, break for sunshine. Temperatures will actually fall as the day progresses. So the high temperature of the day is first thing in the morning, and then we'll see the numbers drop. Also, with a breeze, it'll feel cooler than these numbers suggest. We'll take a look at that, plus some snow to finish the weekend coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. In just a matter of hours now, President Donald Trump is expected to put in place 25% tariffs on imported goods from Canada, Mexico, and China.
The tariffs would force American companies buying products from those countries to pay extra money to the U.S. Treasury. Economists worry this will drive up prices for everything from food to car parts and even our utility bills.
Well, tonight, Fox 61's Stefan Reels investigates what these tariffs could mean for us here in Connecticut.
Here in New England, our electric grid is linked closely to our neighbors up north in Canada. But since tariffs entered the discussion, that relationship has gotten rocky.
I do not see anything good coming out of this.
Professor of International Business at Quinnipiac University, Mohammed Elahi, weighing in as the world waits for President Donald Trump to enact a 25% tariff on goods from Canada and Mexico, and a 10% tariff on goods from China. A move Elahi worries will put economies in disarray and limit economic growth.
Why we are going after our allies, Mexico and Canada? Our economy, as a result of NAFTA, I would say all three economies, they're very integrated. If we start a trade war, it's basically a race to the bottom.
This concern comes on the heels of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's remarks only hours earlier.
Of course, I won't sugarcoat it. Our nation could be facing difficult times in the coming days and weeks.
In his speech, the Prime Minister specifically mentions cutting energy exports to the U.S. if tariffs were not repealed.
We're ready with a response, a purposeful, forceful, but reasonable, immediate response.
According to ISO New England, the organization in charge of the regional electric grid for groups like Eversource, New England has a surplus of electricity from neighboring regions, and 60% of that surplus comes from Canada. As for the tariff impact on our state, ISO New England says it can't comment because it's still waiting for guidance when tariffs are implemented. Other utility companies like United Illuminating told Fox 61 that while it does have contracts in Canada and are evaluating the potential impact, consumers may not feel an effect for several months since UI obtains its energy 6 months at a time. But right now, Elahi stresses there's a lot of variables still in the air, including what energy will be impacted and if Canada carries out its retaliation.
If Canada stops supplying hydropower, if Canada also raises the price, we'll be in trouble. So I think consumers, they will feel the pinch sooner than what most people are expecting.
Dr. Elahi says these tariffs won't go into effect until March 1st, but even so, he says this could all end up being a negotiating tactic from Trump and a bargaining move with other countries. But for now, in Berlin, Stefan Reels, Fox 61.
And those tariffs could also impact the construction industry. Prices for materials like lumber or gypsum, which is used for drywall, would go up. Economists say consumers will end up paying more for new homes.
One artist is showing off his work at the Creative Arts Workshop in New Haven just in time for Black History Month.
Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot spent some time at his showcase to learn what makes it so special.
A creative artist in our state was granted money, which has allowed him to showcase his work at the Creative Arts Workshop in New Haven. He says all of his paintings are about the influential men and boys in his life.
You gotta have some drawing sessions together.
Marquise Brantley Sr. is the 2024-2025 New Haven Artist Corps recipient. Friday night was his first night showcasing Unveiled Roots. It's the latest contribution to the Creative Arts Workshop's Black History Month installment.
And it's to celebrate the black and brown, or the black men and boys in my life, for helping me, to become the person that I am today.
The New Haven native still can't believe that he made it this far.
It's really awesome and gratifying because I was told, as this show was, getting ready to open, I was told that this was being sent out to all the 8th through 12th graders to the city of New Haven. I'm like, man, that's amazing.
Executive Director Trina Learned said Marquise is a self-taught artist and is positively impacting the community.
We're always looking for opportunities to bring art to more and more people, to go out into the community, to bring the community here. And in so many ways, Marcus represents that. He also represents what it means to be part of a family, to have lived his entire life in New Haven, and be a successful artist, and be recognized.
And with Saturday marking the first day of Black History Month, Marquise says this is an important way to honor those in his life.
What I'm doing now is, celebrating black men and boys and everything like that. So to be able to, shine more light on men, because we need it, it's really important to me. It's something that sits on my heart, and any chance I can do something like that, and a kid sees it and they can get something from it, or anybody that can get something from it, is like a home run for me,
Marquise's exhibit will go until March 1st, and he said he's really grateful for this opportunity. In New Haven, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.